So, my friend Sarah told me yesterday she finally figured out her quit my job number.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she says if she can just get around $40,000 a year in passive dividend income, she's completely done, just retiring.
40 grand. Okay, well, the math on that is actually terrifying if you don't know what you're doing.
What do you mean? I mean, $40,000 doesn't sound like an insane amount of money to live on.
It's not, but if she tries to do that with, say, Apple stock, she'd need, wait, let me get the exact number. She'd need roughly $6.5 million invested.
Okay, I need a second. Frank, stop. $6.5 million just to get $40,000 a year?
Literally. And this is exactly why most people fail at the whole living off dividends dream. They chase the wrong strategy.
Well, then we need to fix that. I'm Lynn.
And I'm Frank. Welcome to Talk and Wonder. We create easy-to-understand whiteboard animations covering family finance, investing, passive income, and debt management.
Our goal is to break down complex financial topics, help you avoid traps, and build wealth together. If you want to secure your future, you are exactly in the right place.
Right, so getting back to Sarah's 40K goal. To generate that kind of cash, it entirely depends on what exactly you're holding, and specifically your portfolio's dividend yield.
Which is basically the percentage the company pays you just for owning their stock, right?
Exactly. Look at Apple. Everyone loves Apple, but their dividend payout is only about 92 cents per share annually.
92 cents. Wow, don't spend it all in one place.
Right? So if you buy a share for, let's say, $150, your yield is 92 cents divided by 150. That's a 0.61% yield.
Less than 1%.
Way less, meaning for every $100 you put into Apple, they hand you 61 cents a year.
Okay, so if we were trying to feed our kids and pay our mortgage off of 61 cents per $100, yeah, I see why you said 6.5 million. It's impossible for a normal family.
It is, but the good news is Apple is just one example. You don't have to settle for 0.61%, because if you look at a group called the Dividend Aristocrats,
Which sounds very fancy, by the way, aristocrats.
Right? But it just means these are 65 companies in the S&P 500 that haven't just paid dividends for 25 consecutive years.
They've actually raised them.
Exactly, for at least 25 years. So the average yield for these guys is usually between 1 and 4%.
Okay, that is way better than Apple's 0 point whatever.
Way better. Let's take 3M, for example. At the time of this data, they were paying right around 4%.
Okay, so if we use that same $40,000 goal,
You'd need exactly $1 million invested.
I mean, $1 million is still a massive amount of money for a normal family. But compared to 6.5 million, it actually feels, I don't know, somewhat achievable over a lifetime.
right, but here is where human nature kicks in, and, well, it gets dangerous.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Because if 4% gets us to $1 million, logic says, why not just find something paying 5 or 6%? I mean, didn't we literally look at AT&T a few years ago?
We did. Let's use them as the example. AT&T pays a massive 5.24% dividend.
Right. So as a family, why wouldn't we just dump our entire net worth into that? The math says we'd need even less money to hit our 40K.
Because if you look at their actual stock price over the last 5 years, actually, forget 5 years, they've basically been trading sideways since, well, 2002.
Wait, 2002? So the actual value of the investment hasn't grown in over 20 years?
Barely. And this is what people don't get about dividends. A dividend isn't free money. It's a percentage of profit that the company gives you back.
Right.
So, if a company has an insanely high dividend yield, they're basically paying out all their profit.
Instead of reinvesting it back into the company to actually grow.
Exactly. Management is basically telling you, hey, we don't really know how to grow this business anymore, so here's some cash.
It's like giving your kids a slightly bigger allowance today, but completely draining their college fund to do it. The total family bank account never actually grows.
That's a great way to put it. It hurts the company's future growth. And that brings up a really harsh truth about dividend investing that nobody on YouTube really wants to talk about.
Oh?
Yeah, because even if you are aiming for that $1 million portfolio, the way most Americans calculate their net worth is, well, it's completely flawed for this strategy. If we look at the actual financial data across the U.S., so, a financial analyst named Larry Chung pointed this out, and it's brilliant. If you look at the average net worth for someone, let's say, in their mid-40s to 50s in the U.S.,
Okay.
the average is about $833,000.
Which sounds great. I mean, that's getting really close to that $1 million target for 3M we just talked about.
It sounds great until you realize even if we took that entire $833,000 and magically dropped it into a 4% dividend portfolio,
It would only generate, wait, let me do the math, like $33K a year?
exactly, $33,000, still short of the $40K goal. But, and here is the massive but,
Oh, I know what you're going to say. People don't have $833,000 in cash just sitting around.
nope, that number is their total net worth, which is comprised of what?
Their house, their car,
Right.
like the equity in the home we're sitting in right now. I mean, sure, it looks great on a spreadsheet, but
But your house isn't paying you a monthly dividend to buy groceries.
exactly, you can't slice off a piece of the kitchen island to pay the electric bill. So that $833,000 is mostly locked up. It's illiquid.
Precisely. The wealth is tied up in assets that don't produce cash flow. So, really, to get to a place where a family is actually generating enough income off of pure investments,
We need a completely different strategy, especially if we're not, already 55 years old with a paid-off mortgage.
right, which leads us to the biggest mistake young investors make. If you are under the age of 35, which, looking at our channel analytics, almost 75% of you are,
Going all in on a dividend portfolio right now is probably actually hurting you.
it is. Because when you're young, the strategy shouldn't be about extracting tiny bits of cash today. It needs to be about growth. Early on, it is highly likely you should be investing for growth rather than dividends. And there are, well, three main reasons for this.
Okay, lay 'em on me.
First, you can simply afford to take more risk. Look, if you only have, say, $1,000 to invest total.
Right, and we put it in a 5% dividend yield portfolio.
Exactly. Do the math. You're making $50 a year.
$50 a year, Frank. $50 doesn't even cover one nice takeout dinner for the family anymore. It literally does nothing to change our actual financial situation.
Right, that tiny dividend yield is hardly making a dent. So, and this is reason number two, it is probably better to try to grow your capital gains as quickly as you can when you're young.
Because a growth stock might jump, 20% or 30% in a year, expanding that $1,000 base much faster.
Exactly, you're building the foundation, which brings us to reason number three, compound interest and time.
Oh, the magic of time.
The math alone should honestly blow your mind. The earlier you grow that capital to a sizable figure, the more time multiplies it.
So basically, the strategy is completely flipped. When we're young, we don't want the payout. We just want to build the biggest investment mountain possible.
Yes, build the mountain now, because when you're older, say 55, you can convert that massive growth portfolio into something safer, like those dividend stocks.
Because at 55, you can't afford to make mistakes. Like, I don't know, YOLOing your entire life savings into AMC stock.
Yeah, if you YOLO'd everything into a meme stock 2 years ago at age 55, your retirement is literally threatened. You have no time to recover.
Right. So the goal is grow aggressively when you're young, then shift to safety and cash flow, dividends, real estate, bonds, when you actually need the income.
Exactly. Now, assuming you do all of this right, you build the mountain, you transition to dividends, and you hit that magic $40,000 a year.
We're finally sipping margaritas on a beach?
Almost, but there's one massive roadblock that could take a giant bite out of that 40K.
Let me guess. Taxes.
Oh yeah, but there's actually a legal way to pay 0% on it.
Taxes. But here's the crazy part. Under the IRS tax code, if your dividends are what they call qualified dividends and your total taxable income is under $40,400,
Wait, are you serious right now? Under 40K is what?
it's taxed at exactly 0%.
Zero? As in, Uncle Sam doesn't touch a single penny of your dividend income?
Literally zero. And even if you make more, like from $40,400 up to, wait, I think it's $445,850, that portion is only taxed at 15%.
Okay, I need a second. That is a massive tax advantage for a family. But how do we make sure our dividends are qualified? Because knowing the IRS, there's always some hidden catch.
There is, but it's actually pretty simple. You basically just have to hold the stock for longer than, I think it's 60 days. Yeah, 60 to 120 days, depending on the stock. So as long as you're not day trading, you're fine.
So the tax code is literally rewarding us for just holding on to our investments long term.
Exactly. Now, if you want to avoid taxes altogether, that is where the Roth IRA comes in.
Ah, our favorite account. But remind me of the limits again, for our listeners.
Right. So if you're under the age of 50, you can only put in $6,000 a year. If you're over 50, you can do $7,000.
And everything inside grows and gets withdrawn completely tax-free.
Yes, but, and here's the downside, you have to wait until you're 59 and a half to withdraw the earnings. Otherwise,
Let me guess, a massive penalty?
a 10% penalty. The government really wants to disincentivize you from dipping into your retirement early. But look, whether you use a taxable account or a Roth, there is one simple formula you should write down today.
Yes, give us the ultimate math cheat code.
It's dividend income divided by dividend yield percentage.
Okay, let's test it. What if a family needs, let's say, $75,000 a year to live off of passively?
So you take $75,000 and you divide it by your target yield. Let's say 5% or, 0.05. Move the decimal over.
That's, wait, $1.5 million?
Exactly. 1.5 million invested. That is your exact target.
Okay, it's a big mountain to climb, but at least now we have the map. I'm actually curious what everyone else's freedom number is.
Yeah, drop it in the comments down below. But actually, I'm even more curious to hear what strategies you guys are using right now.
Oh, for sure. Like, are you guys heavily into the dividend game, or maybe you found something completely different?
Right. If you have a better strategy for generating cash flow, or if you've maybe learned a harsh lesson from chasing one of those high-yield traps we talked about.
Because we've definitely been there. Seriously, share your stories in the comments. We read all of them.
We do. Speaking of harsh lessons, though, remember when we thought flipping that one property was going to be easy passive income, and the plumbing literally...
Oh my gosh, do not remind me. The water damage alone was